Today we are going to talk about top 10 most popular museums. One of the best trips is to spend a day or more in a museum. In these grand buildings, travelers can find works of art by Monet and cultural items. Even though museums are subjective, the numbers don't lie. Some tourists love art, others love science. 10. Taipei's National Palace Museum. The National Palace Museum in Taiwan has about 700,000 pieces of art and relics from the Chinese imperial era. This is the place to go to learn about the 8,000 years of Chinese history, from the Neolithic to the present. 9. London's Victoria and Albert Museum. People say that the Victoria and Albert Museum is the world's best museum of art, design, and performance. This is exactly what you would expect from a museum named after Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. All of this means that if you are interested in architecture, old clothes, and furniture, as well as displays about theater and performance, this is the place to go. 8. New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, also known as the Met, says it is the biggest art museum in the Western Hemisphere. There is a permanent collection of over 2 million works, as well as a series of changing exhibitions, so there is a lot to see and do here. The Great Wave by Katsushika Hokusai and the works of Claude Monet and Vincent van Gogh are not to be missed. 7. Museo Nacional Centro de Arte Reina Sofía, Madrid. The Reina Sofía is Spain's national museum of 20th century art. As such, it has a large number of permanent pieces and also hosts a variety of temporary shows. When visitors are done looking at the huge museum, they can walk through the park next to the museum to get to the Palacio de Cristal, a conservatory that is almost entirely made of glass. 6. The Vatican Museums in Vatican City. The Catholic Church has put together a collection of art, which is shown in the Vatican Museums, which are a group of chapels, galleries, and regular museums inside Vatican City. Think about famous sculptures from the Roman era, as well as works of art from today and other times. So far, do you like what you've seen? Remember to like and subscribe. Don't stop watching because you won't want to miss what's at the top. 5. London's Tate Modern. The Tate Modern is one of a group of art galleries that can be found not only in London but also in Liverpool and Cornwall. In addition to its collection of modern art, the Tate Museum has displays that let people interact with the works on display and others that explain how well-known works of art were made. 4. The Louvre, Paris, France. The Louvre is still the most visited museum in the world, with over 9.3 million people going there every year. Locals from the United States make up 30% of these visitors, and most of them go to the temporary exhibits. The other 70% are tourists from other countries who come to Paris to see the landmark and the permanent displays. The Mona Lisa, by Leonardo da Vinci, the Venus de Milo, sculpture of Aphrodite, and the Regent, which is thought to be the most beautiful diamond in the world, are just some of the masterpieces in the Louvre. There are about 70,000 pieces of art on display in the Louvre's 650,000 square foot gallery space. The Louvre is one of the world's biggest museums. 3. The National Museum of China in Beijing, China. In 2014, 7.6 million people went to the National Museum of China in Beijing, which was the second most popular place to visit in China. In 2003, the National Museum of Chinese History and the National Museum of the Chinese Revolution joined together to form the Free Museum, which is now in Tiananmen Square, the most important place in the city. The museum opened in the year 2003. This museum has quickly become one of the biggest in the world. It has a floor space of 192,000 square meters. The displays in this museum can teach you about both modern and ancient Chinese history. This museum has a lot of amazing pieces of art, like treasures from the Neolithic period, like a beautiful painted red clay basin, jade carvings, like a jade dragon from 6000 to 5000 BC, and the flag that Mao Zedong raised when he declared the People's Republic of China in 1949. 2. National Air and Space Museum in Washington. The Smithsonian Institution is made up of 19 museums, with the National Air and Space Museum being the best of them. This museum has the largest collection of things that have to do with people flying. In 2014, about 6.7 million people went to the museum in Washington, D.C., but when you add the number of people who went to the museum in Virginia, there were about 8 million people. After looking around this free museum, the wonder and amazement of human flight is enough to capture the heart of any visitor. The Wright Flyer from 1903, the oldest picture ever taken of an airplane, the Space Shuttle Discovery, and many other things are on display in the museum. 1. The British Museum in London, UK. When it opened in 1753, the British Museum was the first national public museum in the world. Today, it is the most popular museum in Britain. In 2014, 6.7 million people went inside. Visitors have never had to pay to get into the British Museum. Some of the most important and sought-after things in the museum's collection are the Rosetta Stone, sculptures of the Parthenon, and buildings from ancient Egypt. The Queen Elizabeth II Great Court, a beautiful enclosed inner courtyard that was finished in 2000, is part of the museum. It is a spectacular sight in and of itself. Before you leave, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for our channel so you never miss what's coming next from us. Thanks for watching.